What is going on, everyone? My name is Shaq, and today I have a sit down and talk kind of video. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, it feels like. I don't think I've done this since my NBA 2K20 My Team kind of rant video, but today I wanted to talk a bit about sponsors, more specifically things to do with the Sports TNB situation. The entire situation is quite interesting to me because it makes me think of the future, makes me think of what place it has in our community, because the 2K community, as I've heard other people say, it feels like there's something going on every single day, whether it's content related or completely non-2K related. There's always something going on in the 2K community that's got people talking. So I wanted to kind of continue that discussion about the whole sponsor ordeal with Sports TNB and people finally trying to shut them down and calling out the people promoting. But I don't think the Sports TNB situation is just solely its own thing. I think it expands all the way out to MT sponsors and almost any kind of sponsor in general. If you've noticed, most 2K YouTubers don't have many like mainstream sponsors, such as things like Ridge Wallet or Honey, or the most well-known sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. There's not many 2K YouTubers you know that have those kinds of reliable sponsors that don't really have an effect on 2K, the game itself, or the community around it. The most sponsors you'll see from 2K YouTubers will be MT sponsors, badge grinders, accounts, all those things to do with 2K, that the existence of that, company, business, whatever it may be, kind of affects the way 2K is played. I know a lot of people talk about how the MT sites are one of the reasons that cards can get so expensive, because you have to go and then buy MT from them in order to get the cards that, if the MT sites weren't involved, you'd be getting that much, and you wouldn't have to be buying MT for those cards. That's just one of many factors as to what things like MT sites have, but the Sports TNB side of things was just pure scamming. It wasn't like something that truly affected 2K, but it affected its players who even got involved with Sports TNB in the first place. Some of the responses that Sports TNB had and his reaction to it all made no sense to me and was just completely dumb, which I think a lot of people can agree with. Because, I mean, for God's sake, he told in one of his old videos, I remember a Phantom video that I watched about the situation a long time ago, his explanation for why he wouldn't pay some people was because they were being pushy, or he didn't like them as much as others. It made no sense. You're running a business, it doesn't matter what you feel about them. Yeah, they are the customer. People forget just such basic things as the customer's always right, and in this situation, he's more than right. At this point, you are scamming him. It doesn't matter how he feels. You need to give his money. And not only that, he was still pocketing some of the money he was making of it from the other accounts and from other people trying to sell their accounts. He was still pocketing that money. You don't pocket money if you have people to pay. It doesn't matter whether you need that money to live. You pay the people who need it before you. You don't run a business where you are making employees or you are scamming customers and making them do their work for free so you can make some bank and can keep living. That's not how the business works. Always goes the customers, mainly the employees and customers, will probably stick those two together. Those guys first, and then you get paid. You don't decide who gets paid and when. You need to pay them as soon as you can. And so that entire situation got messy. I'm not 100% sure. The entire situation on whether his account was locked or not, still really fuzzy, but just his way of working things out and the way of doing things made no sense at all. It was really bad, a really bad business model, and so I could see from a mile away, and I've known for a while, that Sports TNB is not a trustworthy place to go. But the main problem with that was the sponsorship kind of things, and the reason Sports TNB got so much money from it and kept going for so long was because of sponsors. Sponsors kept putting his name out there, everyone, even though a lot of people already knew that Sports TNB was not in the situation or the position to be handing out money for people to start promoting him. And yet, both 2K YouTubers, community and Sports TMB himself kind of just lived with the sponsorships there. It shows a lack of responsibility throughout a lot of the community, I think, because those YouTubers who did promote Sports TMB, I think about 80% of them either gave him up with absolutely no like apology of any kind. They kind of just took him out and then expected everyone to be okay with it. And in a way, sure, you got rid of the sponsor, you're not promoting them anymore, you're stopping people from being scammed by them. But at that point, everyone was getting the idea that you shouldn't be going to Sports TMB anyways. You could keep promoting him, no one's gonna listen to you. At the end of the day, the only person it's affecting is you. I guess both positively and negatively, because you may still be getting paid. I have no clue how much those Sports TMB people, or people who were being sponsored by Sports TMB, I don't know how much they were making from that. Word is a lot, but I don't think there's any point in taking a sponsor in which everyone who watches your videos now dislikes you for having that sponsor. So it didn't make sense for anyone to have him alongside their work. But not only just Sports TMB, but MT sites. I don't know why MT sites kind of seem to keep getting free runs. I guess it's because it's an alternative to VC and people don't like paying 2K money when they clearly have a lot. So people seem to kind of just be okay with living with MT sites and sponsors kind of going throughout the 2K community. I will admit, I've bought MT before. I've done it before. But I only buy it, one, from trusted sites. I buy it from Phantom's MT. And the reason I do that is because he's got a name. If he has a name and he's scamming me, it could really do some big damage to him. It's not smart for someone with that big of a name to be running an MT scam. It's not smart at all. And credit to him, it's not a scam at all. Definitely not. Phantom's MT is very trustworthy and I like what they do. I don't think they really need to promote themselves because Phantom's kind of just promotes it on his Twitter account. I don't think he promotes it on his YouTube, but definitely his Twitter account. I know for sure he promotes it. And that's enough to get his name out there and get things rolling. So for these kind of dodgy MT sites and companies, they need to be promoting their stuff, sponsoring YouTubers so that they can promote their stuff and doing everything they can to get the ball rolling in order for them to start making money. And I think a lot of people have realized, especially over the last couple of weeks, that the MT sites aren't very trustworthy. I think the reason the MT sites even exist is because of the fact that they're artificially raising the prices of some things. Not only that, but 2K makes packs so expensive. So I guess in that way, 2K doesn't help. But MT sites artificially raise the prices of cards and then force people to go over there to buy MT from them. And so in that way, it is very, very sketchy and it's very difficult to sit there and promote these people or promote these sites because nowadays anything 2K related has the potential to have negative effects on the community and the game. So do I think that sponsorships and promotion in the 2K community is going to have a future? Unfortunately, yes, purely for price sake and monetization sake. I mean, these MT sites, from what I've heard, are giving out some good cash, giving out some good money. I have never come into contact with one and I don't expect to for a while. And that's my official thing right here. Don't MT sites, all of that, do not come to me with promotions. I don't want to take them. That's too much responsibility and too much overthinking I'll have in my head if I'm making sure I'm promoting the right thing. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to sit and make my content. Leave me alone. But I truly don't think that sponsorships or deals or promotion will have a future in the 2K community. And I do think it sucks because it should be beneficial for both parties at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's not. It's going to affect the auction house. It's going to affect people, whether they're getting scammed. It's going to affect many different things in the 2K community, and not for good at all, because at the end of the day, in order for these things to work, there needs to be money involved, and the game shouldn't have to be so pay to win. Even if you're buying from MT sites, you're paying to win, and it's not good. It's very, very bad, and I do it myself. I'm not proud of myself for doing so. And if there's anything I'd like to do, one thing I've noticed big YouTubers do is that they all want to play no money spent. They don't want to start spending money. And that's why I want to give a shout out to Most Baller, because he's done massive things this year. Same with DBG, massive things this year without spending a dime. And you can do well in the game without having to pay money. It's just the only problem is time. Time, you can't affect that. So, and so that's why people go to pay to win. So at the same time, I understand why people do it, but it's also very frustrating that that's the way it all has to go. I think what I'm trying to say is that I wish promotions and sponsorships didn't have a future. I'm gonna be completely honest because I think there's too many negative things that outweigh the positives, but they're going to continue to have a future because one, money's sake, and two, we're already in the thick of things. People have already gotten used to accepting promotions, accepting sponsorships, and they're already so rampant throughout the 2K community that I just don't see them going away anytime soon. That's all I'm gonna touch on though for this. I think that's all I really need to touch on. I think that MT promotions, and even people like Sports TMB, we could have more people like that in the future. I don't think we'll have many, but I do think there's the potential for people to try and run legit businesses for ending up in the same position as Sports TMB, because at the end of the day, it's hard to run a business around a video game, especially a game like NBA 2K. It's very difficult, especially not livable, unless you are 2K, obviously. And so people will be trying their best to keep themselves afloat. But that's where I'm gonna end it. I'm not gonna keep talking anymore. I don't want to start rambling onto things that are unimportant. So if you guys did enjoy this video and want me to talk a bit more about situations like this, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below any video ideas, suggestions, and constructive criticism, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Trying to hit 800 subscribers as soon as possible, so any bit of help is always very much appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.